we see dog attacks in the news, often with tragic consequences. Recently, in the city of Miami, Florida, a young girl was hospitalized after receiving several bites on her body from a family pet. To find out precisely how to avoid these tragedies, we are joined by veterinary Dr. Marta Sanchez-Emden and Dennis Urrutia, a dog trainer with his pet, Diesel. Welcome to both of them.
Thank you.
I'm going to start with you, Dennis. What should we do when we're perhaps being attacked by a dog? What should we do to handle this situation?
Thank you. What should we do? Look, there's practically so many different techniques that you can do. There's so many. The first thing you want to do is you want to stand still. When a dog comes running, you stand still, because if you start moving, you get completely desperate. The dog starts following the movement and the dog keeps biting. The first thing you want to do is to stay completely still.
Yes.
And not move at all. Absolutely not at all.
And physically, is there anything you can do?
Well, look, if a dog comes, there are dogs that react a lot to what is movement, okay? There are dogs that don't react to a lot of movement. If the dog is a dog that reacts to a lot of movement, if you have a purse, you have a leash, and you see the dog at a distance coming, I would recommend that at least with a rag do, at the moment the dog comes, try to put this in front of it, which is the first thing.
To keep the distance from your body?
Yes, and at the same time, if he bites, it is the first object he will bite, keeping your hands apart. It is a difficult technique to do. Not everybody will do it, but I recommend that you put a purse, put a cloth in front of it, and go with the dog in a circle so that he bites this object.
What to do if the dog won't stay still?
Well, look, if the dog won't sit still at that time and it's a dog that's biting well, if you're close, it's an example, to a pool, if you're close to an area where the dog can be distracted, I would try to, at least if you have a pool, I would jump in the pool. I jump in because there are dogs that don't like it.
Jump.
Exactly. So, in that case, the best thing would be either you jump in the pool, if you have a pool nearby, if you have a way that you can throw whatever object you have there, you can distract him by throwing him an object or something. You can try to do that so the dog is distracted, but there are so many techniques because it depends on the dog.
Doctor, why do dogs attack?
Well, dogs do not attack just because. There are reasons. The reasons are fear, anxiety, or pain. There are very few dogs that have a genetic predisposition to attack. We must remember that we should never discriminate by breed, because any dog, big, small, any breed, if it is in the perfect situation, can bite. With a big dog, we are all on guard, but the little ones are not saints either. So be careful, any dog can bite.
Now, Dennis, are there any signs that we can watch for her that can give you the measure? Is this dog ready to attack right now or not?
Exactly. Look, if you are, for example, you are in a room, you are in a small room, you are in an office or something, and you arrive by surprise and we have a small dog and it is cornered, many times the dog will stand up with its head on its back, then the dog feels threatened. Okay. And if that dog automatically, when you approach it, it will feel threatened. If you try to touch it, it will react and bite you, you know what I mean? Then you also have the dog that if it is trained, it is different and the dog is going to bite whatever. And there are dogs that are naturally aggressive, that in that case, if it sees you from a distance, it is going to start running. The dog is going to come and bite you naturally because it is used to attack people or everything that moves.
Doctor, who, if we can say it, who are perhaps the most vulnerable to a dog attack?
The little ones, the children, especially children under 9 years old, because children don't know what to watch out for. They are also rough when playing with dogs. They grab them by the tail and the ears sometimes, and if they are at the dog's level, they stare at them. Many reasons. Is there any way parents can prevent a dog attack on their children? You have to be suspicious. Do not trust any dog. Note that most of the bites of children are bitten by pets in the house then. And it is not to be in the room with the child or the dog. It is to be watching like an eagle, to be able to recognize the subtle body language of the dog that is going to attack right away, then, and not to trust a small dog, the Chihuahuitas that are so cute and so good, some bite, some Shih Tzu, so you have to keep an eye on all dogs.
I was talking to Dennis off camera, the difference maybe between a small dog and a big dog. Would you care to explain?
Well, yes, the difference between a small dog is that at least there are many small dogs that come, they start barking, and sometimes they don't attack you directly. There are many that do that, so you have the possibility that If the dog comes to you, for example, you can stop, and many times they keep their distance. So they do it out of fear. They bark, they go ahead, they leave. Now, a big dog that has more confidence, for example, many times it goes directly to you and attacks you without that fear.
And they are heavy and strong.
Some are also afraid and they stop, but most of them go directly to you and attack you. It is a bigger dog and it can do more damage.
Doctor, does it help when a dog is trained that it may not attack?
Of course, a trained dog will not have so much anxiety or fear because it can handle the situation better. Dogs that are rescued many times have emotional situations that make them fearful and bite. So those dogs need training. What should we do after a dog bite? You have to know, important, if a dog bites you, many people leave the bite marks and say it is nothing. Penetrating bites are the dangerous ones. You have to put that hand under water, like for 5 or 10 minutes, wash it with bactericidal soap and go to the doctor because you are going to need antibiotics.
Be careful, gentlemen. We know this does not mean that you shouldn't have pets. They are beautiful, but you must take the necessary precautions. Thank you, both of you, for being... Look at that beauty. We're going to take a break, but we'll be right back.
For my health, for my well-being, because physically, do you know how many people watching us think exactly the same? What do I do? How do I stay focused and achieve what I set out to do?